Alright, we're back at it again, this time with a different style kind of video. It's a tier list like we've done before, but this time we're doing it on a new anime or concept. This time we're going to do something Hunter x Hunter. I've been a big fan of Hunter x Hunter for really only about the last 2 to 3 years. In my opinion, while most people, my brother at least being one, would say that it's Togashi's best work, I'm a bigger fan of Yu Yu Hakusho. I think that's more my nostalgia of watching it more when I was younger, and I relate to the characters a lot better in Yu Yu Hakusho. But Hunter x Hunter's a really amazing story. The anime is really great. There's 2 animes. The newer made one, I don't remember when I think it's 2011 is when it started coming out. That goes all the way up through most of the arcs that we actually have right here, is really great. And then the older anime from, I believe it was the late 90s, early 2000s, I think ended at the York New City arc, and I've only seen clips from that one. It looks really cool because it's got that darker, edgier old anime style, but the newer one, actually, the 2011, I believe it was, Hunter x Hunter, actually just covered a lot more of the story, and honestly, I believe it did a better job adapting the manga. Going forward after that, though, there are, or at least on this tier list, we have 1 or I guess 2 arcs that are more or less just for them that are manga, so they come after where the anime ends, because the anime ends at the 13th chairman election arc, which is the one I've got my mouse on down here now. So this one here is going to be the Dark Continent arc, I believe is what it's supposed to represent. Not an arc that we've technically had. We kind of started working towards it before we moved into this arc right here, which is where the manga currently is, the Secession War of the Kakin Empire. And this one down here at the end was an anime filler arc where we learned more about the Zoldycks, and we kind of had more to do with their manor. I believe that's supposed to represent where Leorio, Kurapika, and Gon went to go get Killua back from his home estate. So we'll rank that one. We'll honestly rank them all except for the Dark Continent one here. I'm going to leave down on D. And it's just because it's not really something that we've explored deep enough into. I fully believe it's going to be a really great arc when we get to it, but because we kind of have nothing of it other than just knowing about the Dark Continent and the base idea that Jing kind of gave us before we got into the Secession War, I'm not going to put it any higher. I think it's going to be probably S tier or A tier for sure when we get it, if we get it, provided we actually ever make it to the Dark Continent, but I don't think it's very fair to rank an arc that doesn't really have any real placement yet. So... But to get into it, again, Hunter x Hunter, been a fan for a while. I, for the longest time, didn't want to watch Hunter x Hunter because I thought there was no way it was going to be better than Yu Yu Hakusho, and it couldn't live up to being as good as either that or some of the other big shonens that were out. And I was wrong, because honestly, while I still don't think it's better than Yu Yu Hakusho, I think in lots of ways it does a better job of doing things, but I have a preference. But it is one of the better shonens I've seen and one of my favorite anime as a whole, and I'm glad I started watching it and then I got into reading it. So let's see how the arcs kind of stack up. I do have certain favorites and least favorites. I think it's in the community, it's pretty widely the same. We're going to go ahead and rank the Zoldyck arc first, because again, it's a filler arc in the anime. From what I remember, it was alright, but not a lot of memorable moments from it. I think that's when we opened the testing gate, and we met the young butler girl, I don't remember her name, and we learned some stuff about kind of like some of the assassin techniques and how the Zoldyck family dynamic works. I'm going to put it at the C tier. It's very okay, but I don't remember much of anything about it. I'll be honest, outside of that stuff. Just didn't feel that important. Next, we're going to go ahead and go to the very first arc in the show, which is going to be the Hunter exam arc right here. The Hunter's exam was really cool. I thought it wasn't actually... I think there are people who probably just think it starts a little slow compared to some of the other big battle shonens. And I guess Hunter x Hunter kind of does, but overall, I think it does do a good job of standing pretty strong. I think in ways it is probably better than at least one of the arcs that's after it. So that being said, I'm going to put the Hunter exam arc at A tier overall. Very, very strong. Now, next we're going to move to what is the second real arc, which is going to be Heaven's Arena. I liked Heaven's Arena, and it's where we began to introduce the concept of Nin, but I actually think that there's less clips, or at least clips I've rewatched and moments that I remember from Heaven's Arena as an arc as a whole. I don't think we saw as much character development, clearly, as we saw in the Hunter's exam arc, where we kind of got to see characters established and begin to be worked on. And in Heaven's Arena, we're really kind of just seeing Gon and Killua foderize some people and see that they're really tough. We already knew that from the Hunter's exam arc. And then we finally learned about the concept of Nin to a degree, which is pretty cool. But Nin going forward only gets fleshed out more and more in the later arcs, and that's when it really becomes a really cool concept. So we're going to leave the Heaven's Arena probably pretty comfortably around B tier. Perfectly fine arc, nothing wrong with it, just it's not as good as the other arcs to come. The next arc that falls in after that's going to be York New City. That is easily an A tier arc. I like it more than I like the Hunter's Exam arc. We get to see the Phantom Troop actually appear and start doing a whole lot. At that point, we find out that Hisoka is a part of the Phantom Troop. And the Phantom Troop, honestly, are some of the coolest characters in Hunter x Hunter. I mean, not just in my opinion. It seems to be fan base wide or wise. They're very widely thought of as some of the coolest characters. And we get to see Kurapika pull up, and he has this crazy transformation from where we saw him here in the Hunter's Exam arc, and then we didn't see him at all in Heaven's Arena, to when we catch back up with him in York New, and he is light years now ahead of both Gon and Killua, who were, I'd say, in the Hunter's Exam arc, if they were on the A tier of power, Killua and Gon, Kurapika was on the B tier, and now by the end of that, it's more reversed, and they'd be down on the B tier, and Kurapika's actually more like on the S tier. He's really stepped up his game from them. He's already become something of like a nin master almost very quickly in very short time, and it's because he's so smart and he places all these restrictions on himself. And as we know, restrictions and vows make your nin so much stronger. So it's a really cool arc. We learned a lot about nin in that arc. We learned a lot about the world in general, the Phantom Troop. We got to figure out more about what was going on with Kurapika's backstory and gain his character development, and actually get some character development for the Phantom Troop members, who we are actually not only really meeting then, but are villainized because they clearly are bad guys, but then we actually get to see them kind of fleshed out as humans who care about each other. And that's something Gon made a point to say. So, really good arc overall. Not my favorite, but a very, very strong arc, for sure. Next, after that, we move into what is one of my favorite arcs in Hunter x Hunter, and it's probably because I love the style that it's written. I love all the work Togashi put into bringing it out. Honestly, like, all the cards in it are super cool. It's got to be Greed Island. It's definitely an S-tier arc for me. It's super awesome. We get to see concepts brought out by Jing, more character development from Gon and Killua. We get to meet Bisky, who's awesome. We get to meet Razor, who is an awesome, very super powerful character. We don't get to see a whole lot of him really at all. We don't see him at all after this. But he's really great, and we find out his relation to Jing, and we get to find out about more of Jing's friends and kind of maybe the kind of guy to a degree that Jing really is. Definitely it's one of my favorite arcs in the show. I think it stand out really strong, honestly. Super, super good arc. The best fight in it, it's actually not as fight-based as some of the other arcs. While I would say in, like, Heaven's Arena, right, Gon has a really cool fight with Hisoka. In the Hunter's Exam, honestly, there's lots of cool fights where Gon's getting beat up by, I can't remember our buddy's name, the ninja. I don't know why I can't remember his name. Where Gon gets beat up by him. We get to see his interaction with Hisoka, with all the badges, Killua pretty much fodderizing people, just really cool stuff. York New, we get to see Kurapika absolutely fold Uvogin, because who really brings a shovel to a fight? Kurapika, because he knows he's going to kill you. Pretty awesome, really great. While in this one, the best fight I think is pretty clearly, it's either going to be Gon and Razor, or the volleyball match with Gon, Hisoka, Killua, and Razor, and his goons. Or the fight where Gon fought, I can't remember the villain's name actually from that arc. He's the guy who had I think his nin technique was called Little Bomber or something like that. He wasn't a very cool character, but he did pose a real threat to Gon, and he blew Gon's arm off, which, again, this was one of the arcs that really continued to show us that Gon has a lot of will for self-sacrifice. He broke his arm in the Hunter's Exam arc. He was more than willing to die in the York New arc. And same thing in Greed Island, honestly. So we get to see Gon's tenacity. Definitely one of my favorite Hunter x Hunter arcs, for sure. After that, we actually move into my favorite current Hunter x Hunter arc, for sure, without a doubt in my mind, and one of the best arcs, I believe, ever written in Shonen. And that's going to be the Chimera Ant arc. It's obviously an S. It's obviously, for me, the best arc in the entire anime and the manga so far, and I am a big fan of at least one of the arcs to come. It's so good. We get to actually see a lot of character development across the board. We get to see our boys, Killua and Gon, really make it into the highest level, essentially towards the top levels of nin combatants in the story. And then we get to find out that that the highest level nin combatants that we have pale in comparison to the monsters of the outer world that we find that exist in Hunter x Hunter. And the Chimera Ants are a low-tier threat compared to what else lies on the Dark Continent. Which is why this arc could be crazy when we ever get there. We get to meet Meruem, who is one of the best written characters. If you have, I mean, clearly if you're watching this video, you've had to have seen Hunter x Hunter. The character development in Meruem and him and Komugi and their relationship with each other is really amazing, honestly. It's to me another instance of Togashi using what he did in Yu Yu Hakusho, where since we described Yusuke as being first demonized in a human's body and then humanized in a demon's body. And it takes that same idea and it shows that while there's all these awful humans and this and that Meruem kind of shows us that there are great, nice, kind humans like Komugi and even ones who are great, powerful, and also caring, like Netero. And then we have Meruem, who essentially is demon, vilified, demon instantly. The minute he's born, he's evil because of what his species does, which is eat other species, right? Other humans and stuff. But then really he grows to understand the value of life, and he becomes, honestly, what seemed to be a pretty good, benevolent almost person. Great. It's like his humanization was really amazing. I can't say that he was going to be, good and spare all people. He seemed like he still definitely had the idea of just mass genocide, so not a good guy. But the humanization of him from where he was really crazy, and getting to see their relationship. Super awesome. Plus Netero, my goat. Amazing. We get to see so many of the coolest hunters, honestly, that we have known so far in the show, and the Chimera Ants are kind of show off, like Morel, Knuckle, again, going and Killua powering up. We get to get Chimera Ant allies, actually, who are pretty cool. It's just a really great arc as a whole. I mean, it's great. It's got some of the best fights, if not the best fights in the show. It's got my goat Netero. I mean, anything with my goat Netero has got to be pretty great. Going forward from there, we actually go to the 13th Chairman Election arc. This arc's alright. It's not my favorite. It's also the arc where Killua deals with his brother and trying to save Aluka/Nanika and trying to save Gon, and there's a whole lot going on with the Chairman Election. It's where Leorio gets to punch Jing in the face, which is a really funny moment. Overall, I put this arc for me probably in the B tier. I think it's better than the Heaven's Arena arc, but I like it less as a whole than I like the Hunter's Exam, York New, Great Island, or the Chimera Ants arc. And the main reason for that is I think, just like my brother has said recently when we've talked about it, we kind of believe that the whole Aluka-Nanika thing is a bit of an ass pull for Gon to have sacrificed his power and will and essentially his life and his nin, potentially, from what we believe with his vow in the arc prior, to being healed minus maybe not having nin anymore. It almost just kind of gets rid of everything that he just sacrificed. I really don't like when authors do that. When we make sacrifice, I like to see it stay. But with Gon being the main character, I understand how that could be pretty hard for him to show. So, I mean, I just can't really move it much higher than that. It's not a bad arc. It's really good, honestly. I think it's better than Heaven's Arena, like I said, and it's definitely better than the Zoldyck arc, but it's just not one of the best Hunter x Hunter arcs. I think it's a big slowdown after the Chimera Ant arc, and that doesn't help it at all. Next, I think we would have moved to what was the start of the Dark Continent arc to a degree where we're fleshing out plans to go there, etc., but then we instantly move into the Kakin Royal Secession War contest, which is what's currently in the manga. It's great. I really love it so far with how it's being written. It seems like it's being more written like a strategy battle manga than just directly heads-on battling like a battle shonen, and that's really cool. We're getting so many characters fleshed out, more nin ideas and concepts for crazy nin abilities. Honestly, I love it. Not everybody's in for it with how it is, and I know it wouldn't be everybody's favorite arc if you're into punch, boom. I like to see big explosions and people fighting and stuff, but if you like arcs where you kind of get a lot of world development, character growth, you kind of get a deep understanding for a plot and try to a mystery almost and understand what's happening, it's a really, really awesome arc. And I don't think it's ending anytime soon. If Togashi can pump out some more chapters like I'm hoping we're going to keep getting, then we'll get there eventually, but I got a feeling we're going to be into the Secession War for a while. Yeah, it's 2025, near the end of it at the recording of this video, and I don't think we're going to be out of the Secession War for a long time. So, I am going to go ahead and rank it, though. For me, it's already got to be third best arc. For me, again, personally, I love it. It's really great. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's probably just beating out York New for me, and it's just behind Greed Island, because York New is right on the cusp for me of moving up to 8 or S tier. It's a really great arc. But overall, the Secession War, like I said, it's just kicking ass. But that's about it in terms of ranking the arcs. I just wanted to get something out nice and quick, and I figured branching into a new subject and topic that I like Hunter x Hunter, would be a good idea. I want to expand where I can and try to get into different stuff that I enjoy and put out as much content as I can for different people to enjoy if it's something I want to do and I can do. So if you like this video, if you stuck around this far, I'd really appreciate it if you gave the video a like. Go ahead and comment your favorite arcs, maybe rank them in your favorite order. Just tell me if you liked my rankings, if you thought that you could rank them better. Honestly, I mean, I just give your opinion. I mean, it's, you know, it's all just subjective, whatever you feel, whatever you think. And then if you want, go ahead and give the video or go ahead and give my channel a subscribe. I'm trying to upload at least a couple times a week wherever I can, whether it's gameplay stuff or anime style videos. Mostly One Piece right now, and gameplay is pretty much League, but I'm looking to expand. So if you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back around for another video soon. I hope you guys have had a good week, and I hope you guys rather have a good week to come. Later, guys. Bye.